The NPFL revenue distribution system, where, of course, winner takes it all. The winner getting 210 million naira, and those placed from second to 19th position living with just 10 million naira. Is this fair enough? Is this a great way that shows fairness in the sharing system? Not minding that a club generally annually they get to spend up to 600 million naira covering costs, covering expenditure of things. But at the end of the day, they get 10 million naira for participating in the Nigeria Premier Football League. I'm trying to make sense of this. And to join me in the conversation will be a sport journalist, Victor Okpone. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining me on the show.
Good afternoon. I think it's a conversation that we should have had a long time ago. I remember it got increased just before, the start of last season. And I think the first question we should be asking is, the league administrators, what were they thinking of? What were they looking at?
I'm wondering
how the distribution was supposed to be. The clubs also the same. The question should be, what's happening with the club? Because these clubs have chairmen, they have, people who administer the day-to-day activities of the club. They know what the running costs will be. So why do we just speak out about all the things? Because it's not supposed to be refunds and followers of the league that should be bringing out all the issues. It should be then looking at the day-to-day running of the clubs on an average basis and saying this money will not be enough for us to be able to prosecute the league. Because how much are we spending? We're spending north of 500 million to stay in the league season. And then you're going to get a paltry 10 million naira. For what purpose? To what end? What justification do we have of that? I mean, we talk about the salaries of the players, and we just had something from the NPFL saying that they must pay the salaries of their signing debt to clubs, to players, and coaching staff and all of that.
All right, Victor, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Victor. Sorry to cut in. But I wanted to really understand, while the 210 million is commendable, yes, it's a commendable reward from the Nigeria Premier Football League and also for the champions of the league. Do you think that that current revenue structure does more good to the competitiveness and the sustainability of the 19 clubs? I know you've been saying that the 10 million naira does not, it's just a paltry sum compared to what they spend annually for the sustainability of the club. Does this show, is it a good way for the competitiveness? Because if I am one of the clubs in the Nigeria Premier Football League and I know I'm falling into the 6th position or 10th position, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put in so much or even have to invest so much because I know at the end of the day, I get 10 million into the bag.
Well, it's not. It's not fair. It is more of a problem. So then the thing is, we need to understand first the way our football is structured in this country. It's a very different system, a very system, I must say, because majority of the clubs in here, do not bother about the size of, the cost of running. And that's the truth, and that is why it is what it is presently. That's why many of them would, stick with the winner takes all and all of that. It shouldn't be. But then, when you have majority of them running on government money, you have problems like this cropping up because if it was private investors, more than half of the play, then you would see that many of them will be thinking of what profits we will be getting because this is business. We're not treating football yet as a business in our country. I remember we spoke some time ago on a different topic, and I said to you, we're not treating football as a business in this country. Until we do that, then we will have changes. But then, when we keep looking at issues like this and we start scrapping it one after the other, and we're not looking at the root cause of this whole problem, then we keep getting stuck around the same issue. And it is really bad for us because how can you say winner takes all? And the whole amount the winner will even take is about 210 million naira. And then the general on top is what all the other clubs will be taking home after spending almost 600 million or more than that because the clubs do spend more than that. Take to cognizance also the issues affecting the Nigerian system, transportation, the economy as it is presently, among several things. These are issues we should be looking at and addressing. But then, until we say this thing will not be like this, the government clubs will not just be deciding based on the fact that they are getting money from the government of each state, then we will keep having this issue. Because when you look at the whole scenario,
Okay, Victor.
Will not give a hoot.
Okay, Victor. How can NPFL clubs, with all you've said, how can they practically start building independent revenue streams? I know the obvious ones are trying to have shirt sponsors, sell match day tickets, have players, giving limited fan engagement and also infrastructure issues. How can they start building it right now? How can NPFL clubs? We're about to wrap this season. Maybe they can listen to you, and next season they can also kickstart that action to create revenue for themselves.
It's the same thing that many of us have been talking about for a while. Many of us have always told them, first off, the focus from the youth on the media aspect is bad, it's not good enough. We say they are trying, but they need to do a lot more. I mean, it's all about visibility in today's market. Entertainment value, competing with the sporting value that we get, amongst other things, are things that will make people look at the youth. We're talking about the Yes State now. I've done some beats right here in the Yes State, and some of the people I've worked with have worked a lot on fan engagement. That's why you see a number of CDSC fans coming to the stadium, and numbers keep rising. And then you ask the question, what are they looking forward to? It's not just about results, because performance-based alone will not keep them coming through to the stadium time and time again. So if we are looking at the media department of the league body itself, then we start to get something. Because the media department of the league body itself will make other clubs stand out and start to speak up and say, we want to do better. Not just go out there on social media and then an admin is trying to be a banger boy or something. We need people to focus and strategize on how we can best market the league, and it starts with the league body. If the league body is doing it, then we start to see content rises flying. The clubs will speak up and say, okay, maybe we can do something like this. And when they start feeding the league body itself, then we start to get a lot more. I mean, we are playing derby games, and we are not having something to rouse the fans because we watch this game.
Okay.
The derby was just past Sunday. It is the media clubs that are trying to do this.
Okay.
The league body should be having clips.
All right, Victor.
Things that we can put out there to show people that they actually have something to look forward to.
All right, Victor, I beg your pardon, please. Thank you. I really want to, get to manage time right now. I would love to ask you, is the NPFL board right to prioritize a very big payout over that equal distribution? Maybe they get to give the winner all, take it all, and then leave out this 10 million for the remaining teams. Are they right to prioritize big payout for champions?
Well, the thing is, there has to be a prize at the end of the season. That is the reason the only national that works for living Katrina football. But then if they make more money, they should share it in a better way. Especially with the TV rights coming through.
Okay, all right. Let's see if they can be able to balance the revenue sharing model. Can we even work in tandem with what Europe they're doing right now? We see how Manchester United, as I did say, 38% comes from the league organizers. Can we maybe one day we see a dream, we have a dream, we can work in tandem with what Europeans are doing right now?
I think we can. It's just for us to open our eyes. Maybe open our eyes, maybe tap our eyes. That's the reason what it is. Because we can't keep letting this thing fly over our heads, and we're not making enough for our needs. We are wasting talent, we are wasting careers, we are wasting money. And until we sit up, until we open our eyes to the possibilities, the endless possibilities that we could be having. Some years back, we didn't think that we could do some things that we are doing in the league. We didn't think that some players were able to pull as much things and sell players for the amount that they are selling them. But now we have academies raking in huge amounts of money. So if we actually have a league system that actually works fine, we can rake in a lot more money.
Okay. I'm hoping that the Nigeria Premier Football League organizers are ready to make the money, because it's one thing to lay these cards on the table, it's another for one to pick them up and then run with it. And I've seen that the NPFL, we've been saying this for a long time, a broken record of how to use the league in making money, generate revenue using the league, but they have not been able to pick these ideas and then run with it, and be hoping that they can run with it. Thank you so much, Victor Okpone. Time not our friend. We have to move on. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for you.
A pleasure to have you, Victor.